What's going on, y'all? It's Harley from Pacific North Whoop. Today, we've got the new BETAFPV Meteor75 Pro O4. This is the new DJI O4 Air Unit on a Whoop. What this is doing is it's bringing the digital system that DJI has to offer on the small frame system that BETAFPV does and combine the two to make a new Whoop size in HD straight to our goggles. All right, we're armed. We're gonna fly around in Horizon just to test it out first. Through the gate. This area of the house is a little bit darker. Go see the buns. I usually have a little bit of a dropout here with the analog system, but so far, a great picture. There's my rabbit, Paris, eating hay. Wow, such a crisp image. Oh my gosh, I love the quality of this picture. Go around the house, hit some gates. There's my bird. And this room is pretty dark with a couple of pink lights. So a little difference in color. And you can immediately see as you're looking out the doorway just how bright the coloration is versus the room. So it's doing quite well in a low light setting, and it's not having an ounce of breakup. Typically when I fly the bedroom, even when I'm at 400 milliwatts on the VTX, I do experience a little bit of breakup when I start going lower or behind the bed, behind the doors. But even in the office and in the back of the house, with the air system, I'm getting an amazing image. Wow, this is shocking. Cruising around the gates. So far, the system definitely is very smooth, the BETAFPV Meteor75 Pro. A couple things that I have to notice, just flying it around versus flying the analog around, is it's definitely heavier. So it drops out of the sky a little bit quicker, needs a bit more throttle inputs. But overall, it's pretty easy to fly. The 75mm Pro is a little bit bigger than the standard 65mm, and we'll go over that in the bench review, but for just cruising around, it's really not bad. Beautiful picture. I can't believe the image quality that I get off this. So let's go in the bathroom. It's completely dark in the bathroom. Wow. Wow. So usually when I fly in the bathroom with analog and it's this dark, it's a little bit harder to see some of the small details, but this had it perfect. Let's check on London here. What are you doing, London? He's on top of these, on top of the house, halfway on top of these things. What are you doing, bun? That's pretty funny. And there's my other bunny, Paris, eating some hay, being a good girl. Such a smooth flyer. If you saw me coming around that door frame kind of slowly, that's because the field of view on this is quite small. After flying this around in the house just for a few minutes now, I can already tell the difference between the analog cameras that I'm typically used to using, like the CO3 or the Tiny Whoop Pinch. And the field of view on this is quite smaller. So what that does is it makes it seem like it takes longer to go around things like corners, and just gives you a little less confidence, in my opinion, with the tight areas, but still very manageable. And I've actually seen a couple people do things like taking the tops of or the lens of the cameras off of analog systems and re-gluing it onto this. I don't think I'm going to do anything like that, but it's nice to know it's possible if needed. So far we're at 4 minutes, and I've only gotten one low battery warning, and that was when I gave it quite a bit of a throttle input. 3.4 volts, so cruising on through, and there we go. Now we're starting to get a land now. I can feel a little bit more battery sag and input needed on the throttle. Let's try some tight gappage here. Oop. So I really want to fly between these here. Yep. Wow, not an ounce of breakup flying throughout the house so far. Whereas on the analog system, I'm like, especially in this back room, breaking up quite a bit more. So low battery, we're at 4 minutes and 50 seconds, but haven't had a land now quite yet, so it seems like, and now we got the land now. So 5 minutes into this battery, and it's coming to an end. 5:05 with 3.2 resting voltage. Let's see it as it sat for a sec. 3.37. So that was a pretty great maiden voyage on the new BETAFPV Meteor75 Pro Air Unit with the O4. I can't believe how awesome this image looked, and flying around the house having not an ounce of breakup was really cool. Let's take this to the bench, do a couple of things like the weight, check to see it versus the analog system, and then we're gonna take it outside. We're gonna go far, we're gonna go fast, do a little bit of acro, so stay tuned. All right, so let's go over some of the technical specs of the BETAFPV Meteor75 Pro O4. So it has the brand new canopy, and this canopy is really cool and special because it has some custom built O-rings. And what those O-rings do is they dampen the camera from vibrations as you're flying, and it helps to eliminate some of the jello. Paired with the soft dampening screws and the rubber grommets all around the flight controller, that helps to eliminate the jello, give you a nice, smooth, consistent flight as you're going. This is the O4 Air Unit along with the whip antenna, and it has the MIPI cable running from the board right to the camera itself. Underneath there is a connector that plugs into the BETAFPV flight controller right here, and it's just a simple plug in and out. So if you're going to be taking the air unit off, moving it over to another quad, or doing anything like that, it's as simple as just unplugging it, unscrewing it, and getting it over there. It has the 1102 22,000 kV motors and 45mm Gemfan props. The frame is a 75mm frame, which means that it is larger in wingspan than the typical 75mm whoop or 65mm whoop. As you can see here, we have a 75mm frame, and then we have a 65mm whoop nearby, and you can see just how much bigger this quad is. Motor post to motor post is 80mm, as opposed to the 75mm you see on the 75 quad, and the 65mm you see on the 65mm quads. Another feature that is really astonishing about this micro quad is everything is packed under here in the 3-in-1 flight controller. So you have the Express LRS receiver in there, the connector for the 5-volt BEC to continuously power the O4 Air Unit, and it's all right here on the drone. Let's go ahead and get a weight on this so we can compare it to some of its predecessors. So without a battery, we are at 37.2 grams. And with the recommended BETAFPV 550 milliamp hour battery, we're at 51.53 grams. We can compare that directly to the Meteor75 Pro analog, which weighs in here at only 30.58 grams. So a difference of nearly 7 grams between the two, just using the O4 Air Unit. Now, if you compare 7 grams to the size of this quad, you'll realize that is quite substantial. What that means is you don't have that same punch-out throttle response from the analog as you do with the DJI system as you do with the analog, but it's to be easily recoverable with things like using a little bit larger battery for longer flight times, or using the larger motors that come on this, like the 1102, opposed to the 0802 that used to come on the 75mm. This drone here, using the analog system, gets 400 milliwatt VTX power and is able to go, we've tested this exact analog VTX, and we're able to get nearly a mile. We're gonna go and test this out soon, see how far we can get with it. I have a feeling that we'll probably be able to maybe go further with this system. It might have a little bit of latency, but it'll be easier to see everything as we're going. So without further ado, we're gonna take this outside. This is my first time flying it outdoors and at a park. So I'm really excited to kind of get a little acro in, see how it flies. Fresh 550 milliamp hour battery. So let's go ahead, plug it on in, get the headset set up. It's a very chilly day here, 39 degrees. So I'm in some extra gear to keep warm. All right, so let's put it in air mode. Very smooth on the throttle. Yeah, this thing's awesome. Wow, the picture on this thing is beautiful. Here's my wife cruising around on her scooter, getting some exercise before the rain comes. The picture is awesome right here. As you can see, there is a little bit of jello that I've kind of noticed, and it's been reported as well. It's not too bad. It's definitely not unflyable. So hopefully in GyroFlow I'll be able to fix that and, you know, mediate that a little bit. But as long as I don't have drastic throttle changes up or down, it's typically fine. Doesn't have too much of an effect. Definitely happens more under higher throttle, I would say. But yeah, it's been reported by quite a few people. So this is a kind of an easier flight around the park. Get a little power loop in. Go hit some gaps. Ooh, that was a close one. So it definitely can acro decently, and it can recover out. Because it has those bigger motors, it has the power to punch back out, no problem. Ooh, saved it on there. But when you are acroing this, it does use the battery quite a bit more. So I'm already at 2 minutes with the land now. So yeah, this thing is a lot of fun to cruise around at the park. Not too bad for throttle recovery and for actually getting it with acro. Heck yeah. I love the HD system. The digital system is pretty sweet. Woo! I can't believe it's taken me this long to actually try it out. Very thankful it's come to the Whoop size now. For being a 75mm Whoop with an HD camera on it, this thing actually rips pretty dang good. I can do some acro, do some tricks around, and it's a fun little park basher, cruiser, and get some great footage while doing it. So next, we're gonna go and throw this on a long range test and see just how far we can take it. So the furthest we've gotten this way with our analog setup is just to where the school is. We're also not going to go there too fast so we don't lose range too quickly or have any problems. But I'm watching the connection, and we have a solid 60 Mbps right now, so we're pretty set. So I'm crossing the main road right now, and I've always had with analog great video reception all the way here. This has never been a problem. To be honest, I've actually had great video pretty much this entire distance. So pretty cool to with the digital setup, it's pretty cool to compare how there's not a single dropout. 60, okay, we just had our first dropout to 50, back to 60, back to 50. So I'm watching it definitely pretty thoroughly right now. I'm also going to a place that's pretty safe. I kind of know exactly where it's at. All right, this is awesome. We've got perfect video. So this is the furthest I've actually ever flown from this distance here to the back of this parking lot. Let's not go above this just to be safe. ELRS 80% connection, we're good on that. 60 Mbps. All right, so that's our first kind of low warning, and we made it to pretty much the parking lot of that school. Awesome. So let's send her on back, and I want to try to go a little bit lower. So I want to see where it's going to be breaking up at. So right now that's the lowest I've seen it at 18. It actually gave me a little bit of a yellow flash, but the video has just remained rock solid. I mean, with analog, I could not be getting this. Flying over all these houses over on this side right now, and there's the school bus going over the tree line. There's the main road, car rental, and the back of the container area for Target, Burlington Coat Factory, everything like that. Yeah, this has been perfect video. I'm getting a couple of warnings with the battery for low battery or land now, but so far so good. 3.3 voltage, and I'm back over in our area. I can't believe I just did a long range test and had that good a video. That was awesome. So I went pretty much as far as I could go before I would run out of battery there and back. Yeah, I'm super low on throttle. So pretty much as far as I could go, and I had amazing video the entire time. I can't believe that. This HD system is just blowing my mind. I would say very successful. For being a little park 75mm ripper, it really can do quite a bit. Very impressed. I will say the jello is going to be an issue that needs to be fixed. That top canopy is definitely going to take a little bit of work. I don't know if I'm going to either have to replace it with something else, maybe a TPU, 3D printed something or other. So that's going to be a deep dive I'll do another day. But for now, I'm really impressed with what they've put out. It's got some flaws here and there. So overall, I would probably give it a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. But for bringing this to whoops now, I can't thank BETAFPV and DJI enough. Keep on the lookout and subscribe for some more whoop videos, some more awesome things like HD diving, HD gorilla whooping, and we're gonna really push this thing to the limit. So catch y'all soon.